Cool Cats, Cool Dudes, and Joe Rothwell's Lion King Mane of Hair. Welcome to We All Love Leeds, the show where we all love Leeds. We discuss our love of Leeds. I'll get that right one day. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad. And for the benefit of the audience, I believe you are in your current location
At work.
of, I was going to call it the dressing room.
Yeah. Excuse the halo in the glasses.
Okay. We did get a comment. I noticed this. We got a comment at 9 a.m. this morning from Jimmy that said, "Come on, you Trids, treble winners." I'm guessing that's rugby league. I'm guessing that's Wakefield Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the 3 trophies they won are, but I know they won the playoff.
I think they beat York last week. What week before?
But congratulations, Jimmy, when you turn up. I don't know if they get promoted anymore to the
It's a weird thing,
what they call it, Super League.
League, yeah.
But also John Garside is also first in. If we don't count the fact that Jimmy was in 100 years ago. Oh, speaking of 100 years ago, 1895 trophy, Winners' Shield, and grand final. Cool. How you doing, John? How you doing, Jimmy? How you doing, Ben? I think I've already asked, but still. I mean, obviously, first thing to go to is obviously the international break is over. That was a scary couple of weeks. And I can't remember who sent me this one specifically. It was probably Russ Morgan. But yeah, something happened, Ben, over the international break. What is your take on the new England manager, or that they've?
I don't really care. I lost love for international football long ago. It's just a hindrance to the normal season to me.
Yeah.
And it's something to lightly watch in the summertime when it's on. That's it.
Yeah, I'll see, but there's a lot of idiocy over it. Like, obviously, anyone can have their opinion on anything. I'm not really going to question that. But at the same time, all the people like the manager should be English, shouldn't be German. Basically, they were all wetting themselves at the prospect of that 24-hour period where it was being reported it was going to be Pep. But anyway.
Thing is, right, it's even players don't have to be that nationality anymore. They're all dual nationality.
Yeah.
So I don't really care. 1 second.
No problem.
That halo's doing there in. So.
Excuse me. Well, yeah, I think a lot of people are up in arms over it, despite the fact that people also started that international break with, "I don't like international football. It's boring. I can't stand it." It's like, so why do you care who the national team manager is then? In my opinion. But Jimmy did say Tim Pot Tommy wouldn't be my first choice of German to manage England. Klopp would have been better. There you go. And
he's going to be our next manager if you believe all the online bullshit. God.
The clickbaity nonsense. Klopp's breathing down. If you believe everything the internet says, Klopp is like basically breathing down Daniel Farke's neck. He's not. He's clearly not. But it gets ad revenue, doesn't it? But Ben did generously send us. I don't even know if he remembers doing it, but he because it was a good few days ago, and he did send us all what the new England kit's going to be when they turn out in, I believe it's March. It's the next international game for total. New England kit.
Quite nice.
I think it looks smashing.
Shorts are banging, aren't they?
Yeah. Ahead of its time, if we're talking 2039. But yeah, ahead of its time. That also being said, back onto Leeds United. I did happen to see the Leeds United Spanish fan account. Yeah, there is one. Posted this image to commemorate our 105th birthday, which was yesterday. I couldn't help but there's so much on this that's laughable. I'll have to send it to you, Ben. on your WhatsApp. But I like how they've put Ramon Nunes at the bottom, celebrating his 1 goal for Leeds or whatever. Wilkinson's not even on it. Also, I mean, they're right. Firpo is the man. So obviously, 105 years, Firpo goes in the middle. Because of course he does. I double check. Chief is on there. Speaking of Chief, though, we have got the Chief was in town. He is talking to the current captain, as they put it, and as he was talking to also the captain of the night. I mean, he's just majestic, isn't he, Ben? I mean, I know you've met him.
Brought a lot better vibes than Will Ferrell.
Basically, if you get a former captain, dare I say a legend, to sit in the crowd and watch us play, we win games. But if you bring over one of your American investors, goes to pot. Westbrook, Ferrell, Hoffman. I don't even know if Hoffman invested, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so on to the game. Probably the fastest we've ever took to do it. Excuse me. This was at the scene Friday night, Ellen Road. Yeah, I took it off the Twitter. So, yeah. I mean, it's a majestic place, right? I'll try and sign Rothwell in January. He'd be a good squad member. I mean, to be fair, though, and I don't know if Ben agrees, I think if you actually get in the Premier League...
Yeah, you want to be aiming higher, yeah.
Then Rothwell. He's the sort of player you want on a permanent, like if you're in the Championship going for a push. Like, obviously we are, but at the same time, we've got him till what, May, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I think he shines at this level. You go up a level, then, yeah, he's just a squad player at best.
There's a reason why he was probably fine at Bournemouth to a point. And then they've been farming him out year on year.
Well, if you look at Bournemouth yesterday, it was yesterday. They've gone on a level now, haven't they? From that survival team, which is for a season at best, you want him. Then you want to be looking seriously replacing.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to be getting caught with that nostalgic bullshit that we got caught last time, where we keep basically the majority of the promotion team. You need to replace, and you need to be ruthless.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Don't get me wrong, I'm not digging out Rothwell. He's had a great week for our club. So, but the reality is, I think you're getting a bit caught in the hysteria.
He was brought in for a purpose, and that purpose has come to fruit. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but look, I do feel that the football may be a little bit more attractive with them two in the midfield. So it's up to them, innit, to make themselves unreplaceable. So we'll see.
John Garside has tried to one-up himself on this one with get Klitsch back. He's a free agent. Absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. I'd love it. But at the same time, you're becoming sentimental FC, John.
Yeah. You'd bring him back for his shithousery. That's about it.
Pay him to literally hang around the changing rooms or walk towards the camera when we're on Sky. Fine. But I would not have him in a promotion hunt 5 years after he was very good in a promotion hunt.
If you could have any one of that team back, who would it be? For what reason?
Ben White.
Ben White. I'd have Alioski back just for his fucking nutsness.
If you're talking shit
as a character,
then
yeah. Just for not for any footballing basis. I won't have any of them back. I won't have Ben White after that celebration. And fuck off. Eddie, I'd have Eddie back.
I'm quite fond of Eddie, as everyone knows. But
yeah, Arsenal could have done with Eddie yesterday.
Hello, Anders. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Mr. Arsenal Footcast. I was about to say Footcast. I mean, that's a totally different thing. I think there's a place that sells only fans where you can get that kind of thing. Two different words. Anyway, but no, we're going with a bit of an experimental show where basically we're going to do the Leeds now. Basically,
It's in reverse.
Returning a bit of time. I have some football memes for it. It's a lot of Arsenal ones. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of Arsenal ones. I mean, because I had more time to do that. Alioski, yeah, right. So obviously we've established Ellen Road was the scene of the crime. Ben, this is the lineup. How happy were you with this? Keeping in mind we know the result.
It's not whether I was happy. I was surprised because I thought either Tanaka or Aronson would be missing. Obviously, I didn't think Tanaka so much, but I thought Aronson might have been rested. But yeah, I was all right with that. Melier, maybe, but other than that,
he had the best night he could have hoped for.
Yeah, that
when,
was
when the stats come up. He had no shots on target on him, which is
and what he did have to do. The little he did have to do, he did safely. So
yeah,
it was the perfect sort of confidence builder for him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's a nice easy night. No fucking
All the shots that were at him never went on target. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll take that every week. But at the same time, he was put in situations, like you say, his performance was competent because he didn't have to do anything that required serious risk. Like, there were a lot of catches he made, which, if he didn't, would have led to trouble. Don't get me wrong. But still, and for the sake of being equal, although, to be fair, as another Leeds podcast, the Square Ball did say, you don't have to be equal because you could be as biased as you want, actually. But I was like, nah, I just want to laugh at their team. I did laugh at that.
I was surprised that Raksaki wasn't playing after scoring 2 last week. I really was surprised. I thought this was a weak side that he put out.
I think he had enough to beat us. I think he thought he had enough to beat us without that player. Plus, he'd been on international duty, I'm assuming. I know we all had players on international duty, but I could be wrong here. But when he was sitting there on the bench, I'm looking at him thinking, any photo I've seen of him, he pulls the same face. He's like he's stunned. He's like, basically, I bet he's the randomly chosen player for a drug test in every match. Randomly. Sorry, you can't see it. Randomly chosen. Because of course he is. He sits there like, if you went to him, we're winning 1-0, he'd be like, are we? Or we've let in 5 goals. Oh, okay. Kind of thing. That's the expression of a man that doesn't give a shit. Anyway, excuse me. Not digging him out too much. Do you see Somerville talking to Archie? It's funny you say that, John. That may or may not turn up in the memeage. It may or may not. Anyway, it will totally turn up we could do a caption contest on it. Anyway, Evening Tom, Evening Richard.
Evening
which is obviously a reference to Gary's show, The Road Trip. I should have known it was you because of the badge. It's the one that you usually have. I was upset at myself for not getting it sooner. Although I didn't know the meaning of the name once I'd actually read it. Anyway, Russ being greeted by John Garside. I mean, Russ, you're nothing in here unless you're being greeted by John Garside. So you're right now. Usual lineup. Usual formation. Anything you would have done, like for example, if Aronson hadn't been back in time, who would you have put in the 10?
Nonto, and then I'd have had James or Solomon. Probably Solomon.
Can you imagine what Chris Wilder would have been thinking when he looks over and he sees Ramazani coming off and Dan James is like that must be terrifying for an opposition. And I know that's laughable because I'm like to Arsenal, oh god, Dan James shit. But we're talking about the Championship. where he leaves everyone for dead. Whether he can kick a ball to save his life, debatable. But the fact is, he can outrun everyone.
That boy sure can run. He's a running fool.
The Forrest Gump of football. Yeah, exactly. And obviously, for anyone who cared, Jamie Shackleton was at right back, which explains why we probably won. He
had a torturous time, but he weren't their worst player, was he?
No, well, he didn't come off when they were losing.
He was up for it. He was up for it.
He basically played with an intensity that Jason Bogle matched. I thought it was Bogle's best game, personally. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he should have been man of the match, but I think Firpo's tackle early in the game set the tempo for like this team are not fucking around tonight. But being Firpo, he then got a yellow card for kicking the ball out. So Russ Morgan, I'm sure I've already told you this, but the new rules are being applied in the Championship to my boy Firpo. As soon as he kicked the ball out, I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh, Junior, what are you doing?" But it is what it is.
I thought the ref was. We'll get to him, but yeah, he didn't tend to know when his yellow card was needed. I was happy that he let the game go, didn't he? But there's a couple of occasions, one on our side as well. So.
Robbie says Shackleton was never at the standard to take Leeds forward. I agree. I'm sure a lot of Leeds managers have agreed. Like he's a useful utility player that it was basically a lower rent Stuart Dallas, in my opinion. Basically, you can put him in at most positions.
I think he shines in League One. That's where he shined.
You could be right.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll find out when he eventually drops to it, I suppose. But
yeah,
I'm not to be horrible to him, but he had his
I wish him well. I do. I wish him well.
Team, and he didn't.
But he's Leeds lad. We got about 8 years out of him.
Yeah.
So.
It felt like he was playing for under 21s for about 30 years, but I don't know. Well, let's get into it. Before the game, obviously. Excuse me, it was rude of me. Obviously, we all paid tribute to George Baldock. Baldock, sorry. I definitely said it right the first time. It was just because of my cough. It sounded like I might have said board, as in board doc, but no, seriously, George Baldock. Obviously, tragically passed across the international break. He had spent a good few years at Sheffield United. Admittedly, I don't know as much about him as I did about Sol Bamba when we were doing this. We're doing this too much for footballers, unfortunately. But I do want to commend Panathinaikos, who he joined, I believe, in Greece, who have agreed to pay the 3 years of his contract to his family, despite the fact that he'd only played 4 games for them. So I think that's quite a... No, it's fine, Robbie. It's fine. Always allowed opinions in here. I'd be upset if you all posted agreeing with me and Ben all the time. I mean, you were agreeing with us there, but still. I was saying hello to John to get his... Excuse me. And obviously, during the start of the game, obviously, we put on quite a tribute spread, don't we? Immediately, with the captains and all that. We kicked off.
We've got a lot more respectful as fans over the years.
Yeah. It's very. I believe like we are catching the bullshit of our grandfathers as such, because we are nowhere near like the dirty lead standard that is actually put on us. But Is what it is. I mean, you can't really undo that. But at the end of the day, we were standing for Sol Bamba, even when the Cardiff players weren't, and we were standing for George Baldock, and he's never played for us a day in his life. But I'm not saying we should get a medal for it. I just think people should just realise. Nice gesture that by Panathinaikos. Oh, you got a fan? Wanderers gamer with. Oh, look, it's Ben. That is one fine-looking human.
Aren't these?
Brownie with. All right, lads. I got you on in the background.
Oh, cracking result for your boys.
I couldn't believe they won that. It was amazing. Amazing. Very impressive. I mean, admittedly, you'd have probably won by more if Wayne had actually been there. So, anyway, Cardiff won 5-0 against Plymouth, I believe it was. Anyway, so the game kicked off, and my next slide is that it was half time. It was 0-0. I mean, Sheffield United started the strongest, and then we sort of. It was a bit like.
I don't know if it was strongest. They just had a little bit more of the ball. I think early on their tactic was straight, it was a diagonal ball over the top, and see if we've got the pace. But once they realised that wasn't happening, we just took control, and that was it.
All right. When I say strongest, what I really mean is they had enough of the ball and the game to where it became more noticeable how drastically it shifted when we then had the game for the rest of the game. So, like if you did the match chart, it would have been Sheffield United who got the ball, and then it would have been Leeds, and then there was a period.
Yeah, well, they had 45%, didn't they? I think about, and I think a good 25% of that came in that first 15 minutes.
I hope not, Jimmy. I hope he gets a full season with him. But no, like I say, I suppose I'm just being fair to Sheffield United by saying that, because they went for the game. It's like Hamer did a couple of nice passes, bit of movement. Like you could see why we wanted him at a point, but then you could also see that we had planned for knowing that he was going to be there. Because they obviously took him off eventually because they realised there's no point in wasting him in this when we're already losing, kind of thing. Which is a strange thing to do when he's supposedly your best player. He is their best player, but what do you make of the goal, Ben? Excuse me.
The corner. I was as elated as anybody. Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Shocked and elated at the same time.
I can see why people think it was a fluffed corner, because it was basically every corner that we've done wrong for about 26 years. But the difference here is, instead of it going to the man at the front post, it bypassed him and then just went to a Leeds player.
That was a great pass. That was great vision, that, honestly. Whether he connected with it right, but I think that was the planned route of the ball through that gap of them two players into a clear open space.
They had the reaction, Ben, of two people that have practiced that during the week. Or sorry, putting it on the Thursday. They've spent Thursday going, why don't we try this? Because I can't put it over these players, even though you're the tallest one, because they'll just crowd you. But they'll crowd you anyway. Why don't you run away from them? And then I'll put it really low. They're just going to expect me to try and give you a header. What if I don't? I could be totally wrong, and I've just made up a conversation. But it is what it is. Sam Greenwood is here, because of course he is. Oh, look, it's Tom and Mr. Dick Brain talking about Leeds. There you go. Hello, Sam Greenwood. How you doing, brother? Scored from a corner. I mean, that actually sounds quite similar to the chant we were giving Chris Wilder.
He still don't get that cranium means head, not brain. Because you'll get it, Sam. You'll get it.
It's surrounding the
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the mighty Francis Coquelin being on trial at Leeds?
Is he?
Do you know this is genuinely true? I mean, that was reported by TalkSport, to be fair. But we allegedly had a full not full Ellen Road, sorry, no one's at Ellen Road during the national break. We had a full parch because basically every unattached 34-year-old footballer was at full parch during the international break. Because in case, or what if someone gets injured over the international break, they'd sign them. They tried to sign that Kouyaté, the one who used to play for West Ham. The one thing I will say that is better about our club now, because I know we go up and down our club depending on how well the team are doing, but it feels very, in 2015, we would have bought a player and then done the medical, or we'd have gave him the contract and then did the medical that he fails. Like, and I know that sounds like not even Leeds in 2015 would be that inept. It's like, wouldn't we?
We'd have bought the player before we realised we'd bought him from a Sunday pub team.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'd have watched one YouTube
some guy in a park.
Yeah. And then they'd have bought him. Obviously, at least they did the medical to then go, no, Kouyaté, however it's pronounced. Apologies to him. Anyway, Brownie never sleeps. It's debatable, but the main debate is no, he doesn't sleep. Not fluff, defo plan move. Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, it don't really matter what I believe because it was a goal. He played for Forest too. That's true. He does. That's true. Or he did. He did. Forest, Crystal Palace, West Ham, I believe. What it was. Ben looks very sophisticated in glasses with a whiteboard behind him. He has everyone fooled. I imagine Greenwood was doing the evil laugh. Anyway, Ryan Kent has had his contract ripped up by Fenerbahce. I think we've been linked.
He's coming to us. Does that mean he's on a free?
If Ryan Kent has been alive for 29 years, we've been linked to him for 28 years. It doesn't feel like there's a summer where there isn't a clickbait article. Ryan Kent would love a move to Leeds. It's like if he loved it so much, he'd have played for Leeds and then realised, oh, it's Leeds. Because as I say, no one would ever love your own club as much as you do, Ben.
They'll announce it in 3 days. Fucking Ryan Kent signed.
They'll go, yeah, 3 days' time it'll be, we've signed Ryan Kent to a 4-year contract. Really, it'd be 6 months probably, but to a 4-year contract. And in 4 days' time, it'd be, he's going in for his medical. Like, yeah, cheers, lads. Leeds went to Hackney Marshes to look for a midfielder. Ben wearing a Leeds kit at work. HR wants a word. Brownie saw Juan Mata play down in Sydney. He might be up for Leeds. The only reason I would not be fond of that, and I know this sounds hypocritical, is because obviously he played for Chelsea and Man United. Not that it really matters in the scheme of things, because I know I'm back to then praise Dan James for existing, but, you know, I don't know. I want Leeds to get promoted via the playoffs. This year, it would make a difference.
I just want us to get promoted without any headache.
I don't care how. Do you mean Kouyaté would make a difference? I'm not saying he's a bad footballer. I don't know, but again, it's a big risk to like bring in 34-year-olds because they're going to be on big contracts for the Championship, especially as they know we need players because of the injury list in a very specific area of the field.
Why aren't we allowed to do that? What that Barcelona did, just get like the emergency loan when they've got Braithwaite.
Because we don't own UEFA, it seems. I mean, I don't know the actual answer.
Do you think the loan market should close?
No. I don't really think there's anything wrong with the old system of basically you could buy a player at any point in the season other than March. Like, there was a cut-off, like 17. They'd leave 6 weeks of season left and then do a trade deadline or whatever, as they call it in America. But I know. I find it a bit strange in that it contravenes European law a bit, not to get a bit like that, but it's like, why can't you just go where you want, when you want? Like, I'm sure you'll know what I mean. Like, I don't mean like just rip up your contract and walk off. But why can't you be bought out of your contract in February?
I'm a mass advocate of you sign a contract, you should stay for the length of that contract, and then there's no transfer fees. You can either stay at the club and sign a new contract, or you can go somewhere else for free.
They'll never do that because of the money, the sheer money involved. But yeah, you know, it's a fair point.
That many people make money out of transfers.
No thanks, WG. I doubt my heart could take another playoff final. And then Russ Morgan with the immortal line, there's no better way of getting promotion than by winning the playoffs, said by a fan of a team that has never played in the EFL playoffs. And probably never will.
The only team I respect that goes up of the playoffs is the team that finished third. I think it's just a fucking travesty that the team that finished sixth, right, could be 30 points off the fucking league title, and they got to go up because they won a 3-game shootout.
It's because they want teams trying later in the season. That's purely it. Because the season would be boring if they just the 3 went up. I know it would suit us because we're one of the better teams. But say like the season, or like I'll put it another way, a lot of teams, if you only did the top 3 went up, a lot of teams would just start phoning it in February because their seasons would be done, and there'd be no reason to actually try, which then would take away from the promotion and relegation fights. I'm not saying you're entirely wrong, but that is why it exists, to keep it more exciting.
The reason to try is because you're getting paid by your club to try. There you go.
That's true. That's a fair point. Sam Greenwood, this absolute reprehensible character with Tom wants Leeds promoted, so Henry can come out of retirement again to beat you. He would come out of retirement to beat us. I know it's exactly what
he'd score as well. Yeah, he would. It's one of them people. Shearer would as well.
Thierry Henry would come on in the 88th minute in the match against Leeds, and he'd score in the 89th. He just would. I can't even hate him for it. I do hate him for it, but still, there's no way. There's no worse game losing than the Championship playoff final. So I have no idea what that feels like.
I think second it, Firpo tackles him last minute before he shoots and retires him again.
If Firpo actually retired Thierry Henry, it'd be legendary. I mean, for us, like not. I imagine the Arsenal fans would be a little bit surly. Cardiff 5-0 playoff win on horizon. Sydney Derby.
It just shows the Championship though. They were dead and buried 3 weeks ago, which now.
It's nothing. We weren't sitting here saying a brownie on this show. We're literally going. Your team look absolutely terrible. You have time to not be terrible. I actually personally, I could be wrong. I actually think we're the real heroes in this situation because we could have put about 10 goals past Cardiff, but we chose to just take a quiet and tidy 2 and get out of there with the points. So basically, they had a bad goal difference, but now they've not got as bad a goal difference because they also won 5-0. So basically, I'm spinning it. So Leeds are the true charitarians and heroes. Charitarian's not a real word. It's made up. Yes, Sam. And Foster's more like. I don't know why. I don't even know what he's on about. Anyway, he's great. That year, Blackpool beat us. That was a great game, though. Was that the 4-2, 4-3-1? I just felt so sick after the game. My life took 3 months to get over it. Long after the three following season started. Yeah. I felt mad. Evening Skins 10-0 up against Carolina. Oh no, I think I got Carolina on the plus on the spread.
Are the Skins the Commanders, the Capitals, or whatever?
I thought they were the Washington football team at one point.
I was watching the hockey and then it's like, oh, they're playing Utah fucking hockey club. I thought, the fuck a Utah hockey club?
They're literally a new team. They're gonna rename them.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
I looked them up.
Yeah, I think they should actually think of the name, the Utah. Oh, what's the word? Oh, I had this.
Saints. Utah Saints.
The Utah pig. What's the crime? What? I know the word as well. It's just right in my head. No, when you've got 5 wives, like you're polygamist.
Bigamist.
The Utah polygamists. That's what they should be
bigamist.
called.
That's 2 wives. Yeah, polygamist. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, when you have multiple wives. Yeah.
Sister Wives. You've been watching Sister Wives, Tom?
No, I watched it. I knew of it from a series called Big Love. It was really good. Like Bill Paxton was in it. It was good. I've never seen the end of it, but it was good. It's one of the shows you're watching it. You're like, yeah, I know this is being acted really well, but I'm just gonna go and watch The Wire instead.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing actually wrong with it. Utah.
Which black actor was in The Wire on that certain episode?
I'm a big fan of The Wire.
I am. It's just had every black actor in Hollywood, isn't it?
None of them were famous. The most famous one on it, when I first watched it, would have been obviously the guy that ended up being in Silence of the Lambs. I think he ended up playing like the mayor or something in The Wire. But then he ended up like everyone else ended up becoming massively famous. Like, I'm sorry, not to make this a Wire podcast, but my low-key favourite character was obviously Clay Davis. Because anytime anything happens that he doesn't like, he goes, shit. Anyway, sorry. Don't mean to make this about The Wire, but Brownie, try being on the losing end of a Champions League final. I mean, my dad's been there, so I'm eating Skins, but yeah, I suppose this is your fault, Chewy, getting us down. How can you go from The Wire? How can you go from Leeds United to The Wire in 2 easy steps? Washington via Leeds, polygamist. Yeah, thank you for that, Bremner's Ghost, Jimmy. Don't speak to anyone for 3 days after that final. We just knew it was going to be over the moment Lehman got sent off in the 20th minute. Even after Sol headed us ahead, Almunia, shake my head. Utah Saints, snapping a banjo string on a full moon beside a goose. There's something for everyone, Scoops. And Ross, you'll love the Champions League final ref was Tom Hogg from Hogg. Is it I'm saying it right, Sam? From Norway. And last one here. Russ, I don't think losing the Champions League final would touch losing a Championship playoff final, as at least you would have got there. I get why Brownie's right, but obviously Sam, Russ, etc. are never going to see it that way because they're never likely to be in the Championship and have the pressure of we need to win this or we're potentially really fucked. Like, if you don't win the Champions League final, you just get slightly less prize money than the winners and the trophy.
Yeah, and a different colour medal.
Yeah.
And if you lose the playoff final, then you get the joy of the gate receipt.
Oh yeah, you get about £1 million in gate receipts or whatever it ends up being. But it's what it is. But anyway, so obviously we scored. Well, yeah, we scored.
Yeah.
And then what I liked about our scoring was it was the perfect response to Sheffield United having about 5 cracks on goal. None of them on target, but each one of them made you proceedingly more nervous. Because, again, and I don't think I'm unfair in saying this, Melier at that point, he still hadn't made a save. So until he actually gets a save under his belt, he's not truly redeemed from in his mind, in my opinion. The psychology of his mistake.
He went a long, long way to redeeming himself for me, though, because he caught the ball.
No, I get that. But I mean, for him personally, because he's still not made a save. So until that happens, there's not a true line drawer under it.
Tom, he caught the ball.
Well, the man who punches the ball out 95% of the time.
He caught the ball, Tom.
All right, I'll give you that. He was basically like, you know what? Utah Saints, something good, great track, and the amount of playoff final loss can potentially bankrupt your club.
I think he was signed from a park. I think one of the lead scouts was walking by a French park one day, and he was just stood in between some goalposts, randomly minding his own business. And they thought, well, he looks good.
He see him punch the ball.
Yeah.
He see him punch the ball. He went, he looks confident. I was like, yeah, mate, that's all he does. Apart from Friday, where he caught the ball.
So we signed him.
This is true, Brownie. To be fair, it's still a good purchase, no matter how we swing it in the context of you're getting a first team goalkeeper for $5 million and he's played for you in the Premier League. Like, it's still, unless he actually ends up going for
he
nothing.
let 100 and odd goals in.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, dear.
But that's partly why he's still with us, because there tends not to be a market for a goalkeeper that played in the Premier League and conceded nearly 200 goals in 2 years.
I'd have took him back to that park and just left him there.
Why do I have an image of some nonsense?
We've made bigger sins in the financial world, i.e. JKA for one. I'm sure losing $5 million by just saying, yeah, we'll cut our losses with this twat and we'll go find someone else. Not a major sin. Not a lot of Leeds fans are going to be pissed off at that. They're just going to let it slide.
Russ Morgan is out for blood today when he he typed, right? He went, or you could just sell your good players like Leeds do, but then who would want Cardiff's players?
You can tell someone got beat this weekend, can't you? And someone's pissed off at the recurring theme that is John Stones in the 95th minute.
Russ makes a point. Yeah. I mean, I was upset with that because I'm in an upset pick competition and I picked Wolves to get anything off Man City. I was sitting there going, oh my God, I'm nearly going to get myself 10 points. Because I weren't naive enough to think that when they went 1-0 up, it would stay 1-0. But I thought, if they can just hold on to get the point. It was like when we beat them there. Like, we didn't expect to win. But if we'd have got a point, we'd have been, you know what I mean. Anyway. Mateo Joseph then came on and scored his first goal of the season. To go with his hat-trick in international duty as well.
Second goal of the season.
It is. So let me consult with my legal team. Yeah, I'm probably wrong.
Was it Norwich?
No, Norwich was not no. Not no.
I can't, because I'm on my phone. It's a bit like 1 second. I'll tell you who he scored against now. Well,
he scored loads in pre-season, but I don't think he has any this season.
No, yeah. Someone's going to beat me to this, but it is what it is. Leeds.
Did he have one against Hull?
Possibly. I know he scored.
Yeah, he scored the first goal against Hull. You're right.
There you go.
I love seeing Tom in Ryan's chat. So excited, he thought he was getting points in the upset pick. Why would I not think I was getting points, especially when someone then went VAR and reviewing the goal? I mean, I was naive in thinking they'd review it and then go, he's actually obstructing the goalkeeper. How silly!
How could he be instructing? Even when he was stood up, he was 2 foot fucking tall. Just clinging at fuck all. That's all it is. If you do your own job, you don't have to rely on other people and VAR. It's about doing your own job. And unfortunately, getting beat by Bournemouth ain't doing your own job. Hi, Gary. Where was you on your show yesterday, Gary? I came to say hello and you weren't there.
He was travelling.
He's always
going
traveling.
to his family. I mean, he's a busy man. He's a busy man. He was going to his. I believe he was going to see his daughters. Could be wrong.
I know one of them was just graduated as one of them.
I believe that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It's getting a happy Every single goal was protested as being wrong. Now the EPL, VAR, social media mob, I've added mob there, is ruining football. I can't stand seeing the meltdown for every foul now. Never used to be like this. Hello, Gary from Extreme Road Trip guest Pol Pot.
It's funny he says that, right? About to fans outside the top six. That's what the Premiership's been like for years. It's just
there's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
I believe the perception, right? I could be wrong here, Ben. The perception is generally that the oil clubs take precedence, like your Chelsea's, Man City's. Then it's the rest of the big six, like your obviously Arsenal, Man United, and then everyone else gets the scraps. So generally, Arsenal will get hard done by, only to benefit the clubs in the oil clubs, and that's the perception of it. And then you'll see the Arsenal fan. The dynamic of it is interesting because you see the Arsenal fans will then be all like, "Oh, how comes they're being favoured?" It's like, but how come? What about when you're being favoured to against Bournemouth or whoever?
to the other 14
you weren't
clubs.
favoured yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like when you were favoured against Leeds. When basically Jesus ran into Luke Hayden's leg and you got a penalty. I don't forget. I'll fucking still trap.
Walcott diving, even as far as back then.
Walcott dived to get a penalty in the FA Cup game, if I remember rightly, was it 2011? But of course, big club bias doesn't exist when it's you getting a penalty. And there may be a time where we get decisions because we're perceived as a bigger club than Rotherham, even though Rotherham actually got some decisions on us last or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, perception is one club's always going to be bigger than the other club. It's very rare that two clubs are similar standing against each other. It's the nature of football. But anyway, yeah, Arsenal fucking cheats against Leeds. I can tell you that right now. And they should be ashamed of themselves. They'll never admit it, because then it'd admit that football is fallible. And their whole idea of the conspiracy against Arsenal is bullshit.
Bad fans. Nice people, bad fans.
Ironically, Russ Morgan's one of the nicest men you can come across.
Bad fan, though.
And she starts talking about referee. So I'm talking about referee. I love you, Russ. You're a great man.
I'm only playing.
Anyhow.
So, man of the match.
Me personally, man of the match, Junior Firpo. It's Tanaka. It's Tanaka, really. But obviously my bias, because
I thought Rothwell, personally.
I'm not infallible too.
I just thought his balls were more adventurous. I like the fact that he missed the man next to him out and he was actually looking to create space and move the ball further on quicker, rather than it going through four people to get there. I just thought he just slightly shaded it for me, but
I think the thing is that, Scooby, on social media you will find you're getting a lot of like the pub opinion from Leeds, like the man in the pub's opinion is being put in front of you all the time on the phone, and a lot of the time it's bad opinions by someone who's drunk, or they're drunk with the ability to say what they want because nothing's going to happen. I'm not saying it should, but I don't know if I'm right here, Ben, but just you hear a load of old shit from fans of any team.
I've been saying his shit for 3 years.
Someone is always cheating. They're just useless. I hardly want VAR scrapped. And we say this every week, Sam. I mean, you'll be hard pressed to find a We All Love Leeds show where we are not sitting here saying the best thing about being in the Championship is it's more football. Like the actual games themselves are more of the contest.
And the good thing about it is, if you don't get a decision, you're pissed off for a few minutes. You might have a little rant at the end of the game. You don't have to wait 10 minutes and then get screwed over and then be pissed off for another 10 minutes. It is what it is. You take the rough with the smooth without VAR, and I think it should be there just for offsides. That's it.
I mean, we did score a goal against AC Milan where their goalkeeper literally dropped the ball, Scooby. And I know you respond to that with like, oh, that was in the year 2000. I'm like, the point is, these mistakes are so rare that they do happen. Like, they don't happen every week. But we did benefit from it once in a very notable way.
I've seen Leeds goals where I've said keeper should have saved that, or it wasn't as good as you think. It's poor goalkeeping. Maybe not every time, but you're too elated in the moment of you've scored. Whereas when you've conceded, you want someone to blame it on. But in this respect, there was nobody else to blame it on.
Gary's trying to pick a fight with our show because he's basically gone 2011. That's how far you go back. How about retirees scoring versus Leeds? I believe Henry scored in 2012 because we played them 2 years in a row in the third round, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we
can go further back than that, Gary. If you want to go back to 1972.
Oh, when they made the fixture list, so we had to play the final game. What was it? 2 days after the FA Cup final.
Yeah, after we beat them in the FA Cup final. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good man, bad fan. Tanaka man of the match. Double, not good. I've just unsubscribed. It's understandable, Russ. I can't even.
I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you.
I won't blame you.
I'm sure if you go on ITV4 about now, there's reruns of Heartbeat or something.
Sister Act 2's probably on ITV2. So
there you go.
If you are just joining us, how was Songs of Praise? It's a bit late in the day for that, actually.
Claro's just finishing.
Tanaka got an early Christmas card from John McClane. Hello, Mr. McLean. Anyway, could be worse, Ben. We could still have Casilla.
Yeah, I suppose.
For who, Subi? You're so right. VAR creates a drama that lasts for weeks, months, every fucking foul. Prefer being angry for the first few minutes, moving on. We've had games where we have not liked decisions being made, and we sit here giving it, that was terrible, but I'd still rather not have VAR. That would have made a correct decision.
He just gets a spot of one bastard, whatever, twat in black. That's all. It's a spot there.
Oh, hang on. Russ Morgan's trying to worm his way back into our favour. With Gary, once a cobra bit Ron Simmons' leg. Sorry, what's a leg? Once a cobra bit Ron Simmons' leg. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died. And why is that, Russ? What mitigating fact would be important to knowing why Ron Simmons could kill a cobra? He's already typing. I know he's already typing it. Top Gear on Dave and Terminator on some channel, as is normal every night. Yeah, Terminator 2, of course. Skins.
Followed by Family Guy.
After all that, he's back to Skins. Sam Greenwood with a guess. Did Ron Simmons play for Florida State?
Stand by Utah.
He's going to be playing hockey. Only Falls is on every night. Jolly Boys Outings on every. It's on at least twice a month. Anyway.
ITV4 at about 5:30. there.
Yeah. So, get back to the game. Ben, what did you make of Joseph's goal?
I thought he fouled him. I thought it was some great shirt pulling.
It was like we benefited from ineptness. I suppose.
It was a good goal, good ball, and he held him off well and took it well. Made me happy that I could then travel to work with a smile.
Winder, it could be good for you, son. I believe he did.
Just write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
Question for you, Leeds fans. As the 70s smiley face badge has come back onto your white shirt, what is your favourite badge? Mine was the one. I mean, the smiley's not really part of my era of Leeds. So
If you can see it, it's about 20 years old. But that was my favourite badge. The old Yorkshire Rose.
yeah, it's like the Yorkshire Rose. Like that's
Yeah.
what I grew up with or associated as Leeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one we're referring to, Sam. It's the Yorkshire Rose badge.
Yeah, the 90s badge. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the late 90s, they then converted
80s,
that
90s,
into a small version on the shield, but but still, excuse me. Other than that,
I think you get it, don't you? Is it on the back of here? There's a little Yorkshire Rose somewhere, isn't there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie's old enough to remember the owl. Not that I'm trying to.
That's the city. That's the city coat of arms. The owl.
Oh, okay.
That's what that is. The Leeds City coat of arms.
Scooby's describing the goal with fucking sweet fist of his shirt while way through, I think to keep track of him because he was behind him. So when he tried to nip in, he closed the door and stayed strong on his feet.
Oh, it was a very mature finish where he held him off. Definitely.
You don't get that from, I don't say not unexperienced striker, but you don't get that from your Johnny Come average in the Championship.
It was Aguero Tevez sort of esque, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The way they're through on goal. Suarez sort of thing.
I first read this as Jimmy now in AVP. I thought he was in Alien vs Predator, but he's off his own pet, of course. Where's Jason and the Argonauts? Yeah, personally, I thought we were well worth our win. Obviously, Leeds United win. Before we go into the stats, before I bring up to some more content for Leeds fans, do you know Sheffield United tweeted out during the national break or just before it, tweeted out their list of teams that are undefeated in the EFL, and it was basically Sheffield United and then end of the list. So Leeds had a response to that on Friday night. We are very petty on Twitter. For anyone who is unaware of the Leeds United Twitter admin, we are fucking ruthless.
I noticed before the game, it was the week before the game on YouTube, it was all about Sheffield United tearing the Championship up and unbeaten. But they've not played nobody. There's only Leeds and Sunderland that have played the majority of the top 8.
Yep.
And
I mean,
to be honest, we've been considerably better than everyone we've played. We're just down to our own fucking stupidity that we haven't won every game. But anyway,
they used to be really cheap just before the pandemic, if I remember rightly, or not before, but just after the pandemic, like because the Wendy's burgers. Sorry, but no, you're right, Ben. I noticed it as well when looking at fixtures. Like when looking at the table, I was like, we've played them. It's like, hang on a minute, we've played everyone at the top and Cardiff.
And Portsmouth.
We'll get that as well. Excuse me.
Right, I'm just going to have to pop up. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
No problem.
Okay.
I always wondered why they would have a life-saving ring on their badge and see it linked to the Titanic or something. Well, the football team has needed a life-saving raft, I suppose, over the last 20 years. That's a nasty cough, Tom. Sound but beginning of a chest infection. Excuse me. Mustard bath. £2 in hot bath Stanley's 20 minutes. It'll rinse out easily. Scooby giving Tom filthy sex tips. No, I appreciate that, Scooby. I've had this since about Thursday, so excuse me. It was worse 3 days ago. Let's just say. What else have I got for? Let's go into Chris Wilder's reaction. Now I must preface this by saying he pulls some faces, doesn't he? Look at his reaction going 1-0 down. Look at his reaction to finding out his team had no shots on target. It was the first time ever in the Championship that a Sheffield United team had no shots on target since they started recording data on shots on target. He does not look happy at full time, doesn't look happy after the full time, and he looked really sad when he was going to bed. Probably his best look, if we're being honest. Put some mustard on. Oh, come on now, Russ Morgan's here. Give him anyway. Sorry. I think I used the Hamsadi one for him last season, even though we didn't play him. I did use it in the pre-Leeds review thing. He was, but come on, we know what he's like. He did play. He was a big lump up front, and he played like a big lump up front. In fact, I was very disappointed by him. I mean, I was happy that he was disappointed. I can see why he's the sort of player you buy in the clutch, but he offers nothing else unless you can directly give him the ball. Could be totally wrong. That's my take on his performance. Kiefer Moore, the player Brownie proclaimed was going to be the next Pele. But I mean, how can he not say that? We're the only team that have beat his team, and it was convincing, Robbie. Like there is no way, no matter how much he hates Leeds United, there is absolutely no way he could spin that game. In fact, let's do it now, right? Let's bring up the stats sponsored and put together by Director John and a well-known search engine. But obviously, John does it better than search engine, of course. How can you spin that as Sheffield United deserved anything again other than being soundly beaten? Impossible. I mean, hang on. I just realised he's done the Coventry one. Anyway, they had no shots on target, so fuck them. We drew with Pompey with worse stats. I mean, those are not accurate, actually, to be fair. Because I didn't know you could get that wrong. But anyway, Sheffield United has more possession, more passes. That's actually the statistics for Leeds United versus Coventry. I only know it's that. God damn it. Anyway, so I'm trying to think of the way that I can actually get the actual Leeds. Basically, Leeds Sheffield United stats. They did not have 3 shots. They had, I believe, they ended up with 5 and none on target. Hang on, I'll look it up right now and tell you what it was. Excuse me. I don't know if that will show up. 5, none on target. Sheffield United equals vintage Arsenal. Oh, fair enough, Robbie. But anyway, yeah, we were well worth the win. And I'm trying to think of what before I go into the meme show and all that nonsense. So it's Leeds United's birthday, 105 years yesterday. This is the official statistics of Leeds United as in our history as a club. Played 4,770 matches, of which we've won 2,010 of them. I mean, that's not bad, is it? I mean, we've scored more than we've conceded by about 1,000. I mean, admittedly, most of this will be the 1970s squad, but Russ, did you know that Norwegian Viking Jostein Flo played for Sheffield United in the Premier League? Did you know that Tor Andre Flo played for Leeds United when we were relegated from the Championship, I believe? Because of course he did, because Dennis Wise was the manager, his old mate. Field goal. Is that for the Skins or the Commanders or the Washington football team? But do you know Leeds have had 116 captains? I'm guessing Stroik counts as one. Tondre Flo was good for Chelsea. He clearly wasn't that good, Sam. Leeds have had 40 permanent managers, and I suspect 38 of them were after 1974. That's not wrong. That's not right. The joke works better if you say 30 of them were from like the year 2000 or something. But still, anyhow, so that's there for anyone who wants it. I just rewind the thing. There's a pub which basically said, no Leeds fans. I don't care, it's my pub. Apparently it's a joke. It's not actually true. I actually seen Austin Flo play for Sheffield United Anfield when Sheffield United beat them 1-0. Random game I went to, and it was in the away end. 1,463 clean sheets is an impressive stat. Quite always liked Tor Flo, Washington Commanders, who until a Native American tells me you're offended, are the Skins. Okay. We'll see how that turns out. He played in the 1994 World Cup, Russ. He was a Route 1 target man. I thought it was really bold of Norway to turn up to the 94 World Cup with relegated Swindon Town striker Jan Arge Fjørtoft up front. I mean, he wasn't the reason they conceded 100 goals in the season. But still, I mean, who else are they going to turn up with, to be fair? Jostein Flo scored a Sheffield United goal in that game. Brownie saw Bobby Charlton play youth games and always played with a Lineker type bandage around his arm. Let's have a look at the Championship results for the weekend. Obviously, it started off with the main event. The main event went first when Leeds United beat Sheffield United. Cardiff City then opened up on Saturday by beating Plymouth 5-0. I repeat, 5-0. Also in the afternoon, I believe, lunchtime kickoff, Luton won 3-0 against Watford. So Leeds need to prepare for the storm of Watford on Tuesday night. Preston beat Coventry 1-0, which actually then caused a supposed ruck between the Coventry manager, Adams, and a fan in the crowd. Oxford United scored a 90th minute equaliser against West Brom, which was quite handy, so I thank them for that. And then the afternoon games, Stoke 1-1 with Coventry. Portsmouth getting up, it has to be their first win of the season at QPR. Bristol City won at Middlesbrough, quite handy. And Burnley winning at Sheffield Wednesday, which was unfortunate. I thought Sheffield Wednesday were going to win the Championship this year based on any pundit over the summer. And Blackburn beat Swansea. And Millwall drew 1-1 with Derby County in a game that I'm sure even the people that paid the ticket regret going to. And this afternoon at 2:30 kickoff, Sunderland won 1-0 at Hull City. Stefan Everson, that's the name. That Norway team that beat England and the Netherlands in their group to qualify for the 94 World Cup They qualified with the Dutch. That's when Bergkamp got his fear of flying. Every Cardiff fan going into work tomorrow with loads of Coke and champagne. By that, I think, do you mean someone named Brownie? Iverson was at Spurs was half decent. Or is it? It's Everson, not Iverson. Everson. Do you remember Espen Bardson? Torsved, if I remember rightly, Torsved is the cover star of FIFA 95. I'm sure he was. Excuse me. Played a few games before losing his spot. Vaguely, Lars Bohinen. That's the name. Morten Gans.
Didn't he play for Celtic? Lars Bohinen. Or was it West Ham?
I'll use the computer, the Google machine. He sounds very Blackburnish to me, though. He's currently the manager of a team called Yerv. But he actually started in England. He started out at Nottingham Forest, then went Blackburn, where he won the Premier League title. Actually, I don't know if he actually... No, he joined in 95. But they bought him after they won the league. So he's not a Premier League champion. And then he finished up in England at Derby. Anyway, Henningberg. Oh, did he play for
Blackburn,
Man
left back.
And
Blackburn. Yeah, Norwegian.
I think he won the title with one of them and then won the title with the other one.
Yeah, Blackburn first in 94, was it?
Blackburn won in for 95, but he obviously
94, 95,
yeah. Excuse me. Leonardson, who played for Liverpool after playing for Wimbledon, yeah. Vigard Hegem. Well, welcome to We All Love Norway, the show where we discuss Norwegian footballers. My question of the week for Sam: who's Norwegian with the most minutes in Premier League history?
Gunnar Halle.
He's probably Norwegian with the most minutes for Leeds.
I can't think of it. Not Thomason.
Did Alf Inge
up front guy? He played up front.
Frank Strandley.
Is it Fjortoft?
Yeah, Fjortoft played. Yeah, but he played a lot in the Championship. More than because he played for Swindon in the Premier League and then Middlesbrough in the Championship. What was
about Tore Andre Flo?
Is it Tore Andre Flo? I thought he was serviceable for Leeds. I think Gunnar Halle scored against Man United on Christmas Eve, didn't he? Or am I thinking of Richard Johnson instead? Or Jobson?
No, I think it was Gunnar Halle.
Oh, okay. Because obviously Big Tony got one on that day. You've seen the clip of Carlton Palmer where he talks about everyone roasting him because of what Roy Keane did to him on Christmas Eve when he flipped the ball over his head.
I've not seen it, no, but
there's a football show called Under the Cosh, and they interview ex-pros.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah. There's loads of clickbait, like what they call them, like ad clips or whatever. But clickbait. He tells the story. I admittedly I'd forgot this. That happens, and he always gets him back. Like people always trying to embarrass him over it, and then he's like, "But I won the man of the match on Christmas Eve." Like, I won the man of the match when we beat Man United on Christmas Eve. I'm like, well, yeah, but the real reason people are mocking you for it is because a lot of people think you're a cunt.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I don't. I'll take it with a pinch of salt, but a lot of people do hate him.
He was like, he was there in the majority of Because when I started watching Leeds, I had season tickets from I think 89 to 98 or something, and he was quite a prominent figure in the midfield, but don't really remember a lot about him.
I thought the goal he scored at Wimbledon in the Yeboah game was lovely. Like, it was a great. It's amazing that no one talks about it because Yeboah's goal is so good.
Yeah.
Is it Haaland? Is it actually is it Haaland Junior or Haaland Senior? Russ, sorry. Russ asked which Norwegian has the most minutes in the Premier League.
Yeah, it probably is
one
Haaland.
Of the Haalands?
Did he end up at Forest? His dad?
Yeah, his dad started at Forest. We bought his dad off Forest in
that was it. Yeah, I knew. Yeah,
97.
Visions of him in the Shipston's kit.
Hello to Tariq. How you doing? We've got a lot of secret Gunnar Haller enthusiasts coming out of the woodwork because Tariq. Even I suggested Gunnar Haller for knowing it probably weren't going to be right, but he needed his respect. Gunnar Haller deserves more respect for his work for Leeds and Bradford.
He should have played for Arsenal with a name like that, shouldn't he?
If he had played for Arsenal, Arsenal would have won more Premier League titles than they did. But there is one player.
He was a little workhorse. He got stuck in. He always give you a shift, didn't he?
There is one Leeds player in the George Graham team that, in my opinion, would make any team a champion, except for Leeds. The Terminator, Robert Molyneux.
Who?
Robert Molyneux. The most intimidating man on earth. I remember.
Rob Molyneux, yeah. Was Bruno in that era as well? Ribeiro.
Yes. He was. We signed him.
He was a bonny bugger, Robert.
We signed him in 97 deadline day, if I remember rightly, which was held in March. Because I remember we bought him and I was like, who the fuck is that? And there was no YouTube to go to. There was no internet to click on. You just had to hope he turned up and was good. The answer is Eric
Backer. Teletext, yeah. Eric Backer.
How did he not do that?
How did we overlook Eric Backer?
I think everyone there overlooks Eric Backer. Mentioned. Even Eric Backer wouldn't have answered Eric Backer. He was very good for Leeds. There's another one that got lost in the shuffle when Leeds started to buy 40 players.
I wonder what Eric Backer's up to these. Find out, Tom. What's Eric Backer up to?
For you, Ben, I will do that. Eric Backer. I've really got to stop stalking these players.
What a bad player, little Eric.
After retiring, he went on to manage Sogndal. Apologies, I don't know if I've said that correctly. Sogndal. Sogndal. He managed them between 2015 and 2021, where presumably he got sacked. But then he's currently the manager of Asan, ASANE Football, a Norwegian club in the First One division, the second tier of Norwegian football studio.
Sounds Saudi, doesn't it, Asan? Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
So he's active in the football world.
No, Ben, the ball. He was trolling us. He was absolutely trolling us. He went, it's not really.
No need.
It's Jon Arne Rietler. This is because we said you're a good man, but a bad fan, isn't
it? He's lucky I am in control tonight.
Brendan Francis told him what you said.
Sam Greenwood remains the only person I've blocked on YouTube.
It was an accident and you undone it. So
it was fun.
To be clear, it was undone and it was a genuine accident, but obviously we're still going to lean on that for laughs.
Yeah.
Klaus,
right, I'm gonna call it a night, my friend. So
no problem.
I'll
thanks for stopping
next week
by.
I'll be back to normal. That's not a problem. Thanks everyone for joining.
Take care.
I will see you. We'll have 2 games to report next week. So
Yeah.
Happy days. Right. See you later, everybody. Thanks for joining. See you next week. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the show. Take care.
What should we do next? The table. Right, let's do the table. So here's the table for the week. Obviously Cardiff off the bottom. So
Still here.
congratulations to Cardiff. Polite golf clap. Congratulations, Brownie. And Leeds are now up to 3rd in the Championship table. So it is what it is. Obviously, need to expand upon that on Tuesday night. Where's Jan Mulby on the list? Good night, Ben. Lunduk Varn was an alcoholic. It's getting a bit libelous here. Have a lovely evening. I'll try my best, but I'm sure that's it, Ben. Jan Mulby is Danish. Joshua King is 7th. He's one of the strangest players to have rocked up at Man United, I'm pretty sure. Reprehensible, Bremner getting Scandinavians mixed up. Reprehensible, sir. Look at our goal difference even after winning 5-0. Out of respect for you, Brownie, I'm going to do that. You're still -9. So, but you don't have the worst goal difference. That prize goes to Portsmouth. So, those Vikings look all the same to me, Brownie, and racist Jimmy. So there we go. There's the table for everyone and anyone who cares. And also, should we do the question of the week before or after the memes? Before or after the memes? Well, before that, let's do the caption contest. During the Tottenham West Ham game yesterday, 2 ex-Leeds players were chumming up, and I've become somewhat of an expert at reading the back of people's heads. It's gone like this. So, what colour's your car, Archie? It's brown. What did you buy? What colour was your Lamborghini? No, it's not what they really said. I'll tell you what was really said. In all seriousness, Ronnie Johnson as well. Quick summon Netflix, get Sunderland again before it goes all tits up. I'm pretty sure they're both saying to each other, probably shouldn't left Leeds. We'd be playing right now. Leeds doing well, aren't they? Leeds are winning games. Do you like sitting on the bench? Well, I'm earning 4 times the money, so I don't care where they make me sit. Caption. Archie say to Creed, what the fuck are we doing here, mate? Let's get back up the M1. Are you my Uber Eats driver? I'm pretty sure there are clickbait sites for Tottenham and West Ham going, you'll never guess what Archie Gray did. He talked to a West Ham player during or after the game. The audacity, he has no respect for the club. Because clickbait has never been that sensationalist before, has it? Anyhow. Great. 7. Is that number slash you had sex for last night? Well, get your hair cut, you Jesse. Anyway. You know what? We're going to have a look at the matches through October and the predictions. I'm still on course to obviously be correct-ish after 2 draws, but is what it is. I think we're going to beat Watford 2-0, and then I think we're going to beat Bristol City next Saturday. But presumably Ben thinks the same. Oh, hang on, we've got a quest. I want the jingle. Okay. If you want the jingle, Russ, you get the jingle. I went and pressed the wrong thing there. Question of the week. And for anyone who demands more jingle, question of the week. I can't do it because of my voice. Anyhow, who remembers Arsenal? Who remembers Alexander Tete? Titty, Norwich, and Leeds win 3-0 both games. That jingle, indeed. So we'll roll on, roll up for the question of the week. Name these 11 players who have played for both Leeds and Sheffield United. Oh, he put some. Yeah. He put some. He did it in clue form. So. I have to look up what these are. How'd you get Vinnie Jones there? I don't understand how you got it. He may have, but he's not on my list. He didn't. Oh, hang on. He might have, actually. It almost certainly would have been later in his career, Russ. He did. He made 37 league appearances for Sheffield United as his last club. So, yeah, you're technically right, but it's not on this list. So, obviously, we've got, you know what, I'm just going to run through them. Paddy Kenny, correct. Vinnie Jones, correct. Terry Connor, again, might be correct, but not on this list. Joe Strummer. Yeah. Who's John Stiles, sir? Michael Tong, correct. Vinnie Jones was centre midfield. Not to suit this formation, he wasn't. Brian Dean, correct. Tom Cruise, correct, obviously. Tony Curry, correct. Yeah, as Gary Speed then managed Wales after Sheffield. I called them Special United. I mean, kind of. Brian Dean. So I need BR, MK, whatever that one is on the left or on the right, if you're looking at it as an actual formation. We need BR, JS, BS, and whatever that picture is. Correct. Bogle, as depicted by Game of Boggle, apparently. Director John made this, so I guess he wanted to try and keep it more fun for himself. Haha. I'm just going to enjoy this carbonated beverage. Correct. Billy Sharp. He was terrible for Leeds, but he was probably Sheffield United's best player ever. Correct. Michael Keaton. Marlon King. You're a funny guy, Ross. You're a funny guy. That's what's going to make it so hard to ban you. John Sheridan. It's not him. You will absolutely kick yourself when you do find out who he is, but he was. I'm pretty sure Marlon King has played for Leeds. You know what? I'm going to double check this. He surely has, because pretty much every striker of a certain level has played for Leeds United at some point. Marlon King is correct. Marlon King made 9 league appearances for Leeds United on loan in 1995, in 2005, not 95, and 2013, 8 league appearances for Sheffield United. So you are correct, Russ, but again, not on this list. JS is Jamie Shackleton, hence why you'll kick yourself, Jimmy. So we've got Tony Curry, JS, MT. BR has been mentioned. Ben brought him up. As a clue, Ben has mentioned this gentleman. Russ using Google, the slag. Russ would never cheat. It's not true. He would definitely cheat. Marlon King. I'm thinking of the King that you were bringing up that played for Man United and Norway. Different. I'm thinking of Joshua King, aren't I? That's embarrassing. Anyway, it is not Brendan Rodgers. I bet he was the right twat as a player. I don't know why. Next time we play a team managed by Brendan Rodgers, I'm going to bring up a slew of his quotes and David Brent from The Office and basically go which one was said by Brendan Rodgers and which one was said by David Brent. It's difficult because they're very similar. Except one's a comedy character and one is actually a Premier League football manager or Scottish Premier League football manager, which is basically like being a League One manager, I suppose. But anyway, didn't Dane Whitehouse play? I thought Dane Whitehouse was a singer for Another Level, but it turns out I was thinking of Dane Bowers. So I easily get confused with people. Anyhow. Does anyone not know who this gentleman with the bass guitar is, or with the guitar is? Did we say Michael Brown? I mean, you're correct. He has, but he's not in. Because of the close proximity of both teams, you do tend to get a lot of, a lot of the players will go to Fulham when they leave Arsenal because you haven't got to move house when you transfer. It's kind of like that between us and Sheffield United. Excuse me. Not according to director John. I'll say the Clash because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who this was, but I figured it's the same name of a Leeds player and Sheffield and played for Sheffield United. See that players at Yorkshire. So it's gonna be basically you could probably do a second 11 of players that have played for both teams, but it's the one we have. I believe one is on the guitar for the Clash as what I had to ask director John who the fuck this was. I will put up it's really impressive that for once we've managed to stump you all with 3 of them. So I'm very pleased with myself. I'll give you another 2 minutes. Andy Payton played for a lot of Yorkshire. Yeah, because again, there was a time where, because although you were earning good money as a footballer, you weren't earning the extortionate amounts that you do now. So, or even footballers now, a lot of like we say, they're not just going to Fulham because it's the Premier League. It's because they haven't got to move their family, uproot their family. Ian Bennett. Yeah, fuck it, Ian Bennett's correct. Why not? I don't actually know if he is, but I'll have a look though. Ian Bennett is currently the goalkeeping coach at Huddersfield. You're right, Russ. It is Ian. Ian Bennett played for Leeds. Four league appearances for Leeds in 2005, and then 16 league appearances for Sheffield United between 2006 and 2010. So, excuse me. He was the second best well-known member of the Clash. So there, Sam. But no, it's the actual initials of this gentleman is MJ. You have not got MK, BR, or MJ. Yes, it's Michael Jackson. And I might need to go to little boy's room. No, not gonna. MJ, everyone. MJ. Milton Keynes. Yeah. It's the town of... Well, Milton Keynes is a city, isn't it? It's a city of Milton Keynes. Anyway. I'll give you one more minute, and then I'm ending the quiz, or I'm ending the game. Actually, tell a lie. I'll give you a 4 minute and 10 seconds. MK Ultra. Jimmy, disappointed you, sir. Not really. I'm just saying it. He gives up. Okay. 50 seconds. 50 seconds. 45 seconds. 40 seconds. I'd be a terrible countdown, like continuity announcer. 30 seconds. Don't worry, after this I'm just going to unload all the memes that I usually would do at the start of the show. But I figured it'd give Ben more of a chance to talk about Leeds if I did it at the end, because obviously he has a finite amount of time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there actually is a way of doing... Oh, I knew that as well, but still. There you go. Bruno Ribeiro, sorry. Shame Bruno Ribeiro isn't on there. He was on there. He was on there the whole time, sir. Mick Jones is who you're thinking of, who apparently is also in the Clash. And Matthew Kilgallen played for Leeds and Sheffield United. So rundown: Paddy Kenny, Jayden Bogle, Vinnie Jones, Matthew Kilgallen, Bruno Ribeiro, Michael Tong, Jamie Shackleton, Tony Curry, who was hot stuff. He was my dad's favourite player in like 1978 or whatever it was. Mick Jones, Brian Dean, the score of the first Premier League goal, historic, and Billy Sharp. Anyway, thank you all for playing. Thank you to Director John for putting that together. Let's get into the meme game. Actually, no, I should always end the quiz this way. Plenty of mediocre players there. Sorry, I'll read it correctly. Plenty of very mediocre players there. Far out. I get that we're third, but the squad we have should be leading the championship, not just hanging on to a playoff spot. Fark's possession-based style is too slow. It is not playing to our strengths. Look at our courses we've been in matches. We should be dominating. If we don't make automatic promotion this season, it'll be a waste of all this talent, and we can't afford to keep the chances away. I mean, we've only lost one game, sir, and we've beat the undefeated team. You're not going to win 46 games. No one wins 46 games. We can still get 100 points. In my opinion, he's doing quite well, given the situation we've had with the midfield being decimated in the space of a week. I think we've done okay. Entitled to opinion, but still, I think we're doing okay. Yeah, Matt Kilgan. Hello, forward fun, by the way. Apologies. So, as we are usually prone to do here, although we're doing it backwards, because we usually do it at the start, it is time for... I'm always going to do Twat and Black. Didn't get Ben like the ref, basically. He didn't know that the ref's name is Lewis Smith, and he thought the referee did not know when or when not to use his card, so it was quite haphazard, but generally didn't really do anything too offensive, but is what it is. And yeah, that is that. It's time for our wanker of the week. Wanker of the week. See, it's awful. The Wheel Love Leeds wanker of the week, as selected by Ben, Mauricio Pochettino, because he didn't play. No, because he gave Aronson a full 90 minutes against Mexico. I personally think he should be the wanker of the week because Aronson managed to get back in time. So I thought he was the weakest player against Sheffield United. But anyway, so there is that. Sure, we've only lost one game and beaten the undefeated teams. Okay, cautious possession based on it will beat most of these teams though. The division's not as strong as it was. But we are dominating most of the games. I don't select wanker of the week, Jimmy, to be fair, but in good conscience, it couldn't be him. He was very nice about us in the build-up to the game. He was very nice in the build-up to the game, and he basically did what a lot of managers don't do, where they basically went, we were outclassed and we lost. How can he be wanker of the week? I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion on this, but Ben basically thought it was Pochettino. Nick Fornan, hello sir, how you doing? I mean, yeah, he can be the wanker for life, but he said, I wanked a lot this week. Can I be the wanker of the week? I mean, I see no reason why not. In fact, let's do this. Let's do it properly. Wanker of the week. And the wanker of the week this week is Nick Thornton, because he asked for it. Congratulations, sir. P. Diddy or Prince Andrew. I mean, what am I deciding between them for wanker of the week, or who I'd rather get baby oil gifts from? I mean, the questions are key into this decision. You're welcome, Nick. You're welcome. So, hello and welcome, by the way. I'll do the memes. No, actually, tell a lie. We'll do the dipshits first. We'll go into our favourite two commentators, and then we'll do the memes. The dipshits. Craig Breville, a Bournemouth fan, basically said, well, not basically, he did say, Don Goodman really hates us, doesn't he? Come on, you Bournemouth. I had to go through his profile. He supports Bournemouth. I don't get what Don Goodman did that showed he hates Bournemouth, but apparently he hates Bournemouth. Someone, SS Spencer UKK, wrote, you own a pub, 3 beers on tap, 3 people barred for life. What are you going for? In terms of 3 people barred for life, the answers were Chris Wilder, Callum O'Hare, and Don Goodman. we've got a what do you call it? The duality of man here with great Don Goodman doing a Premier League game. There are fans of Premier League teams that do like Don Goodman apparently, and but this Aston Villa fan is not one of them. Daniel Hodgson wrote, Don Goodman, too biased. Out of the top two divisions, who do you think will be next to be sacked? How can it not be Russell Martin? I'm surprised Russell Martin was still in a job after I finished eating my dinner last night. So, anyway. Average Striker writes, Don 125 appearances for Wolves. Goodman thinks every Man City free kick is a soft one. With Shatner. Oh no, face. Oh my god. Anyway. Jeff Shreves, an actual commentator, says, always enjoy listening to Don Goodman. For me, an excellent co-commentator, brings insight but doesn't interject too much, and also has a nice light touch humour too. I mean, mainly the reason I do this is because although I like to vent on the commentators because they do annoy me, it's nice to get. It's wild finding out how many teams think the commentator actively hates them. I actually might start compiling a list of teams that the commentator hates. So officially, he hates Bournemouth apparently, but we'll go on to Andy Hinchcliffe, where Dem Mighty Blayards, Sheffield United fan, says commentator bias, just bias to be fair. To which MD Cook LUFC writes, commentator bias towards Leeds United, Andy Hinchcliffe. I nearly fell out of my chair when I saw that, because again, I believe Andy Hinchcliffe hates Leeds, and there's much examples that can prove he might do. But then, to be fair, everyone hates Leeds. But anyway, but then saying that, we got a few firsts this weekend. We scored from a corner. We got praise from Andy Hinchcliffe and a decent result after the international break. Come on, Leeds. But back to normal service being resumed, Andy Hinchcliffe is utterly clueless. It's a poor ball win. No, Andrew, it was a deliberate set piece. The man does all he can to find fault and suck any joy out of football. From Christian JW92. Will Andy Hinchcliffe say anything about Vinny Souza celebrating conceding a corner only for Stroik to score from it by deluded fool Darren Paul? And the last one, someone buy Andy Hinchcliffe a thesaurus. His vocabulary is far from outstanding. I think that's a word he uses a lot. From Archie Pellington. So there's our commentator. There's our look into the world of commentary for a week. But to end the show, Sunday roast. Sunday roast. No offence, but Leeds haven't been all that for ages. As a non-Leeds fan, I kind of really don't care about Leeds enough to hate them now. Who do you support out of interest, Mr. Thornan? I promise I will remember it for future. I like you, though. I have a few Leeds friends. That's all right. Someone needs to like me. They don't really, but still. It's nice. Just a joke. Actually, I don't have friends, but still. Thank you. I'm the absolute worst at it, but I appreciate being sort of terrible that people enjoy it more than anyway. You haven't seen me try to hit high notes yet. Anyway, still, that being said, I had one sent in by a viewer. We'll call this viewer R. Morgan. No, wait, that's too obvious. We'll call him Russ M. I just wanted to see you say it, so everyone else knew. We'll just pretend this is a thing. Anyway, no, I appreciate that, Nick. Russ Morgan sent in a tweet by Paul Widger with, bet that number 7 didn't come cheap, cost us fortune. Cost a fortune. I'll see what he did there. But we are back from the international break, which means so are Arsenal. Arsenal fans to the international break, I hate you. Howard Webb is on VAR. My God, that looks like Arsenal. Let's move. Sorry, I was cocking a gun. I wasn't trying to artificially toss myself off. Anyway, it's okay if you forgot. I'm the crazy one that goes by your bet. What? You're the one person that actually does my bets. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm removing £3 from your pocket every week. Or is it 4? Anyway, that's wild. Although to be fair, I did correctly predict that Bournemouth would win. I'm so sorry, Arsenal fans. Russ, don't unfriend me. I'm sorry. Wow, you're a braver man than I am. Obviously, the PGMO already know. They see the writing on the wall. They're like, I bet I'll get blamed for this. But I've got exclusive footage of the secret interview that Arteta actually made off camera. Don't ask me how I got the footage. I just got the footage. We lost because the referee was against us. The weather was not great. The economy was suffering, and worldwide poverty is having a poor effect on the players. I think that adds up. Well, with 10 men for 60 minutes, it wasn't looking for good. That's true. 5 seasons at Arsenal, more than 700 million spent on players, and just the FA Cup to show for it. Arteta is the Spanish Eric Ten Hag. Oh my God, they're out for blood on this man. And tell me this one is wrong. We paid no loan fee for Sterling and are covering less than half his wages, and we still got robbed. We still got robbed. Is this right or wrong? That's awfully naive of you, Mr. Nick, to think that I've not got anything planned for your game. Lopetegui out. There you go. But no, in all seriousness, I do have some for your game. I've got a lot of them. Sterling's meme is looking accurate. Don't get me wrong. It can be turned around. But at the time that was wrote, it's fair to suggest. There will be no golden trophy then. I'll tell the Gooners. I mean, I would have wrote this out a lot better personally, but I'm just lazy. I mean, I could literally make this, but again, you can tell, even though it's grammatically, it's a grammatical abortion, but, you know, anyway. But I've also found out who is Arsenal's greatest enemy all along. The real Arsenal enemy, not VAR, not the PGMOL, it's Arsenal with their disciplinary record. Why can't I say the word disciplinary record? Anyway, I just said it there. Still, West Ham got battered more than a Mars bar in a Glasgow chippy. I agree. Yeah, they did. I've seen the Arsenal away kit shirt somewhere before, but I can't put my finger on it. And as I prompted, it's not just Arsenal. I've got one more though, and the unfortunate gentleman's name has been blacked out to save his life. Or, you know what I mean. Taken mother up the arse. Great result. Yeah. Have a good night, Tariq. But I promise you, that's the last one. We're actually moving on from your club. We have Sullivan's owner. He made his money in porn. I mean, my favourite thing ever that Simon Jordan ever did, and I love getting to say this while leaving this up as an excuse to leave this up here so you can all see it, is that Simon Jordan calls them the Dildo Brothers, which I always thought was just the best thing ever. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I didn't make it, but thank you very much. Manchester City. This is live footage of how their VAR decision was discussed today. Basically, they went to the Premier League. What do you think? And they went, I think it's Manchester City. To which the referees went, "We have a winner," and that's how they decided that whether that was a goal or not. Josco Guardiol, what a goal! To which Jay has wrote, "How are you going to put yourself in Rosie in your own house? Look how far away that TV is. It's absurd." Do you think he took like, don't sit too close to the TV? It'll bore your eyes out, like, too literally. Anyway, Simon Jordan in first though, Sporting Lisbon director, Dildo Brothers. I mean, I heard him say it, so yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm sure you're right, but ultimately, I didn't hear it, laugh, and then go, "I need to find out who said it first." I didn't care. They're the Dildo Brothers. What am I meant to say? Anyway, but thank you. I appreciate that, Nick. I mean, sorry. I keep going back. Why are you sat so far back? This is outrageous. It'd be like if I went to the other side of the dungeon and went, "Hello, welcome to We All Love Leeds, the show," but you'd barely hear it because I'd be like 17 miles away. Funny as fuck. Of course, the best jokes are all rooted in that little grain of truth. And speaking of little grain of truth, let's have a look in at the Wolves camp telling their wife about how the game went. "Honey, you should have seen me against City. No, I didn't win, but I came so close. So close. Try it next week." Foden was told by his mummy his eyes would go square if he watched it too close. Then we got inflatable dicks. We're throwing them around the stadium in protest. I mean, I don't know the cost of them. How much did that all set you all back to do that? Anyway, my personal favourite one was sent in by Craig Knighty as part of the Mr. Arsenal podcast clan. And it's basically Spurs fans when they bottled the top four, but Ange said, "Mate." And my favourite part of it is I trawled the internet for any other version of this same thing that didn't look like it was filmed through a potato. I'll put it up again. Every version of this meme looks the same. It sounds funny, sir. But he can do whatever he wants as long as he says mates. But hang on, that's Ange. Who does Ange manage? Sorry. Wait, who's the team against Ange? Yes, it's West Ham United. So here is Kudus. Apologies. I don't watch Premier League, so I don't really know what any of the names are. But he was the scorer, and in my opinion, he did this far too early in the contest. You can't sit in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium like you're king of the play, like that plastic chair is your throne. Especially if you're then going to go on to floor multiple Tottenham players. Sorry, I've actually named this file "Life Comes at You Fast" because he was doing really well in this one. Not as good in this one. I like the fact he hit 3 for me. I like how they all went down to make sure they got a decision. It's like amazing. But it did. I'm sorry, Nick. I can't help it. You know your badge. They had to change your badge. I changed your badge after yesterday to this. I changed your badge. I'm sorry because not swords, is it? It's not hammers. It's more like Timmy Mallet. Oh, hello, Hawkwind. Talking about the sausage. Hello, sir. How are you doing? And but again, let's get on to the real biggest losers of the weekend. The real biggest losers, because in life there are winners and there are losers. Southampton at half time. Us right now. Have you ever seen someone look so confident for a team that have not won a game at this point, even though they are winning? Hawkins, you disgusting slag. What does a guy with a 16-inch pecker have for breakfast? Whatever he wants, I imagine. Anyway. Now, I know you're expecting me to now put up some picture of, like, Leicester, like, gloating, like, Leicester's Twitter account, basically going, us right there. It's like, no, I went one better. Roy Cropper from Coronation Street was at the game, and he's a Leicester fan. Imagine being bantered by Roy Cropper from Corrie. I don't even know if he's still in it. But today I had a boy dick. Hello, Chris Nix. How you doing? Who doesn't love Roy Cropper? But you've been bantered by Roy from Corrie. Roy. I can't even remember what he ran. Like, I know he ran the calf, didn't he? But still, there you go. And Ramsdale looking real smug at half time, and then Roy walked out with a point, so didn't he? Roy Cropper. But we do something we don't do very often here. We go on to the Women's Champions League. Excuse me. I met Roy Cropper in the VIP section of Bolton versus Leicester once. I mean, there are multiple questions that need to be asked here, Mr. Tariq. For example, how are you in the VIP section? Because while you were arguably it's something Nelson. I know it's Jim Nelson. I could be wrong, but again, we are all. It's Roy Cropper. Like, let's be fair, Russ. So I will return to this, Mr. Tariq. But let's be fair. Like, if Sean Williamson did something at a football ground, you know damn well we are all writing in a chat. Barry from EastEnders does X, Y, Z. It's Barry from EastEnders was at the bowls singing. Like, it's not Sean. Like, his name's Sean Williamson, but he's Barry from EastEnders, and anything he does is what's Barry do. Anyway, to answer your question, my dad used to taxi El Shuf when he had a driving ban. I mean, El Shuf having a driving ban is the 17th least shocking thing of my weekend, but still, because obviously he was quite a character for Leeds United. He was signed for Leeds United after the manager, Neil Warnock at the time, had labelled him a sewer rat. So, did he spit out the window a lot? Yeah. Only if they slowed down and there were kids outside, I imagine. Sorry, that's Jamie Carragher. Sorry, El. But no, in all fairness, I just love how casually it is. Met him in the VIP section. VIP. I mean, you are a very important person, Terry. That's your NXT section in the wrestling show, which I believe is on Wednesday nights at 8:30. Fantastic. Like, it's beyond reproach. Like, the effort you put into it, fantastic. Like, I can't even make a joke about it being shit because it's not. But you know, I think it might be illegal for Bolton versus Leicester to have a VIP section. Personally, I have no idea what you look like. In my head, you look like a degenerate, hopeless crackhead. That's Hawkwind, everyone. Hawkwind. Anyhow, excuse me. So, as I said, Women's Champions League, which we don't really cover on this, but I don't like Galatasaray. And in the interest of fairness, I don't like the Galatasaray women's team either. And imagine pulling off this kind of celebration because you've scored to mean that you are losing 4-1 instead of 4-0. And you're celebrating like you've proved the point to someone. Who are you proving it to, love? Who likes Galatasaray? Not me. I can tell you right now, I have this specific file loaded on here under the label Shameless Scummy Club, because they are a scummy club. Galatasaray, not specifically Galatasaray women's team, but any team, even their hockey team, scummy club, because it has their name, scummy club. Fuck them. They killed 2 of our fans, and they as a club disavowed any culpability to it. 24 years, no apology. I mean, I'm not expecting one now, but you'd think there'd come a time where you'd go like, yeah, I'm sorry, 2 people from your fan base turned up here for a UEFA Cup semi-final and then never went home. Like, just, maybe I'm being a bit over dramatic, but just scummy club. And they're the sort of club that celebrates going 4-1 down or turning 4-0 into, I don't actually know what sequence of the goal was, but it's just embarrassing as an image. I don't even know who that is. Don't care. But still. Anyway, from one scummy, shameless club to another, it's Manchester United. And the local charity bank had a polite request. Please, no more Manchester United shirts. Looks like she's good at yeah. You could be onto something there. There was a really important vote held over the week where basically, before I put up the result, it's literally Anthony or Rashford. Who do you think won the vote? Anthony or Rashford? I mean, him planting a flag is quite funny, but they are scummy still. He's the sort of person that would celebrate scoring a consolation goal. Anthony or Rashford, who do you think wins this vote? I'll give you 10 seconds to get in your thoughts. It was or one out of 27 votes. People preferred or out of Rashford or Anthony. Oh, bless you, Tariq. I wouldn't have put this up if the answer was any of the 2 choices. So, have you heard Ronaldo is doing rumblings about how the system is against him because of his poor performance against Scotland? Who doesn't love a fidget spinner? Again, Ronaldo will be the first to tell you the system is against him, despite him being given 4 penalties in his last 4 games at club level. But of course it's not as if he's the highest paid player in that league and handpicked to go there or anything. The system's against him. I can't imagine his face when he found out that Messi scored 2 hat-tricks in a row. In a league where it is, again, they're even getting in the World Club Championship because he plays for them. But is what it is. Inter Miami I'm talking about, of course. And the last one, before I get onto my last thing, Glasgow Rangers were laughing at Celtic until today, where they lost as well. So let's all laugh about the, I can't remember the exact words that Sam uses, but let's just say the Glasgow Methadone League, otherwise known as the SPL. I've got one special treat for you all before we go. We'll play Kilmarnock, of course. In conjunction with my friends over at Simpsons England meme group, I give you all every Premier League team and which Simpsons character supports them. Which Simpsons character supports Arsenal? You'll never get it, so I'll just put it up anyway. Edna Krabappel with Mikel, not runners up again. Let me just get a tipple while I let that ruminate. Who did Dundee play yesterday? You know what, Chris? I'm in a good mood. You know what? I'm not even going to look it up, but I'm pretty certain it was Motherwell. He popped up earlier in the meme section, but I'll put it back up for you. She's fine, thanks. Is their manager still Kettlewell? I don't know. I haven't looked it up for a while. For Ryan's benefit, of course, Howard Webb with "It's Arsenal, you know what to do." My God, it's Arsenal. Let's move. I bet I'll get blamed for this. Anyway, I've already done it. And because I know it'll really upset him. There'll be no golden trophy then. I'll tell the Gooners. Anyway, what? Kettle's fine, thanks. Thank you, Russ. Appreciate that. Appreciate anyone going on with the nonsense. But so we've established Edgar Kay supports Arsenal, obviously, with a permanent dissatisfaction that absolutely captures the average Arsenal fan. Aston Villa is obviously supported by Bart with "Good evening. The football you're about to witness is so exquisite that it will strike fear into the hearts of all Birmingham City fans." The gun sound makes me chuckle. I mean, it's not a good joke. It's not a good gun sound. I mean, even if my throat wasn't absolutely ripped to shreds, it would still be a terrible gun sound. So that's definitely a slight tism thing I have. Yeah, I'll say it's one of your favourites. Your top three is number one is obviously Motherwell. Sorry, I'll take this down. It's definitely Motherwell, and number two is anytime you bring up Russell Martin, you can always count on Chris Nicks, the great Chris Nicks, to say he's with Lucy Pinder though. He's doing all right. I'm like, yeah, but if you were with Lucy Pinder in 2004. You'd be doing a lot better, all right, than you were if you were with Lucy Pinder in 2024. I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's a fine specimen of a woman. I'm sure she's an absolute fantastic citizen. I'm sure of it. But still, you know what I mean. You know what I say about younger models and all that. But still, anyhow, Bournemouth. I've actually never seen the episode. Like, I have no idea. Apparently, it's a Twin Peaks guy. That's damn fine coffee you've got here in Bournemouth, and damn fine Cherries football team too. That's true. Never realised I did that. It's true. Like, I'm not saying I have a problem with it. It's just something I noticed, and people notice things. Yeah, no, like, she's a perfectly fine woman, and you are objectively right that he is doing well for himself, regardless of being sacked. But you have to answer the question of how much of her I mean, I don't know these people, but how much of her infatuation with him is because he currently works for the team she supports. Like, him losing every week, because, I mean, I guess that depends on, like, if you think she's a goal digger rather than a gold digger. I mean, yeah, they in the Euro 2004 official unofficial soundtrack thing of they were in the video for "Come On Eileen," if I remember rightly. They knew what they were doing when they cast them in it. They knew what they were doing. Anyway, Brentford obviously supported by Professor Frink. She probably has more money than him. I mean, he played professional football as well as managed Southampton, so I'm sure he does all right for himself. I don't know how much you think she got for being a page 3 girl. Again, not disparaging page 3 girls. I just don't know how much they get. But again, Brighton is obviously Millhouse. But my mum says supporting Brighton is cool. And you can all guess who supports Chelsea at Simpsons. Kind of obvious. It's obviously the weird rich Texan. I'll be buying that overinflated player for an overinflated price. Get in, you please. Well, if you please. I read that wrong. But it wouldn't be Mr. Tom if he didn't fuck it up. And Marge with her Crystal Palace fandom with slow and steady wins the race to a comfortable mid-table finish. Jodie Marsh was an Essex slapper. Isn't it Jodie Marsh? It was Michelle Marsh. They're two different people. She's actually married. Michelle Marsh is actually married to James Wade, if I'm not mistaken, darts player. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. He should be the Spurs fan, but spoiler, he's not. Got a better one for Grandpa. Obviously, Everton are going to be the booing festival goers because it's what rings out outside of Goodison whenever they go 2-0 up in the 87th minute, and then the obvious ensues. Jodie Marsh can slap me. I bet she can. I bet she can, Russ. Fulham, obviously, is Principal Seymour Skinner with, oh ye gods, our midfield will lack creativity without Willian. But what if we were to sign Emile Smith-Rowe from Arsenal and disguise it as our own devilish player? Excuse me. Ipswich are obviously groundskeeper Willie with, check out the Willie World news. I reviewed the new tractors. They're all shite. Have they got their first win yet? Anyway, Jasper. Who does Jasper support in the Premier League? It was Leicester, obviously. Not liking Kasabian, that's a paddling. Forgetting your clapper, that's a paddling. Drinking Jamie Vardy's Red Bull, oh, you better believe that's a paddling. Flanders is obviously a Liverpool fan because of their godly nature in football. Oh, without Klopp, we're done for. Done diddly, done for. Next is Manchester City. Who do you think is a Manchester City fan in Simpsons? It's not Grandpa. It's not Grandpa. Premier League, we've got witnesses, president and paper trail a mile long. Yes, well, we've got the best 10 high-priced lawyers that Emirati money can buy. Premier League shit themselves, naturally. Of course it's Mr. Burns. I mean, if Mr. Burns really did any of this shit, of course he would. Mo from The Simpsons is obviously Manchester United with, oh, Mo, oh, hey, Mo. Oh, you're thinking about all the billions of pounds the club blew on players only to get worse every season. Is that it, Mo? Mo, is that why you're upset? You're upset at how bad Manchester United are despite all the money you spend every year. Mo. Anyhow. Excuse me. Obviously, Kirk Van Atten supports Newcastle. Come on. I know you haven't won one since 1955, but you know what this is. It's dignity. Don't you know dignity when you see it? Sorry. It's not. It's the real scene. Lisa is obviously, of course, she's going to support Nottingham Forest because she's a douche. Once you're up in the Premier League, you can't come down. Not to argue with someone about whether Robin Hood was from Yorkshire. Not even to say "Oi up, my duck" to a passerby. Southampton? No, it's not Lucy Pinder. It is Homer. Because, of course, Homer Simpson would support the team that haven't won. In fact, the actual true thing that Homer Simpson would do is he would discover that Southampton haven't won and that Man City are top or Liverpool are top. And then he'd walk out the room and then come back in half a second wearing the Liverpool shirt. That's exactly what he'd actually do. But we move. And Tobias, did you spend $900 dues on tickets for the Spurs cheese room? It was an emergency. Anyway. West Ham. Nelson, nuke the den. You don't really believe that, do you? I don't know. I've got to nuke something. Dirty West Ham, not in there. Dirty West Ham. And finally, and then after winning the championship title, Nuno led the club to successive first 7th place finishes in the Premier League. Now let's all celebrate with a nice cold glass of 7th place juice. It's a Wolves fan, of course it is. Reminiscing about the all too recent past. Anyhow, so that's the 20 Premier League clubs and who they support, and I couldn't think of one that leads. Which one of them? What Simpsons character do you think would support Leeds? And why is it quite obviously... I had the answer in my head then. But still. And the actual final meme of the show this week was 15 years to the day of the very famous balloon goal where Marcus Bent kicked the ball at the goal. That was kicked the ball at the goal for Sunderland against Liverpool. A fan had thrown a balloon onto the pitch. It hit the balloon and went in. Apparently, legally, it shouldn't have counted, but the referee, for some reason, thought that the ball would hit a defender's foot. Hence why it did count. 15 years. But it's also less time since it turned up as a question on the Chase, where a lady was asked, in 2009, Sunderland scored against Liverpool when the ball deflected in off of what object? The options were beach ball, ice cream van, or not balloon, it was beach ball, wasn't it? Forgive me, I'm wrong still as well. Beach ball, ice cream, I mean, it was practically a balloon, ice cream van, or sunbathing German. She answered ice cream van. Ice cream van. The words ice cream van left her mouth. Here's what it might have looked like. I imagine it definitely would not have gone in had the ball hit an ice cream van. I suppose it would depend on where the ice cream van was placed. But still, it is what it is. That being said, I want to thank you all for turning up tonight. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you all giving your time to this nonsense. And it is nonsense. It's not it'd be disingenuous. I mean, there is some things to it that are useful, but it's mainly stuff said by Ben. Again, thank you, Ben, for your time. You can catch us next week, where we'll be covering the double whammy of games on Tuesday and Saturday. Leeds are at home to Watford, and then we're away to Bristol City. Can't wait to be out of this championship. If we do get out of this championship. We should get out of this championship. Anyway, that being said, thank you all for your time. I'm signing out. Have a good week. I hope I can recover from whatever illness, my latest illness or whatever. I want to thank Director John for putting together the delicious graphics that you may or may not love. No, excuse me. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Leeds.